Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a new video in the Thuluth script. In today's video we are going to look into the letter Sin and Shin. It will be divided into more than one video because this letter is kind of a bit demanding. We're going to start with a singular Sin. It has two shapes, one that is short and the other one is pretty long. Starting with 1.5 points on the right here for the first bit of it. This will be the first move. And for the first move, you will go down to the right and you will change direction. And the change of your direction here will be a curvature, but it will go more into an upward movement, as you can see here. You won't do a rotation, no. You're going to stop and go straight upward. Stop right over here, you're going to add 1 point of width. And again, with regards to the scene, we've got this thing about the nebulat, which they come with an angle, they don't come straight. So you're going to add this angle, and your next nebula will come after this 1 point, and it will have a different shape to it. So it will curve first up, then down, as you can see here. It will not be a straight curve downward, no, it will curve this way up first, then it will curve back. So we have a curvature here, then it will curve back here. The second move on the inside would be 1.5 points, basically. On the outside, up here, you could add 2 points just to avoid having a very small area. Now, with regards to these 1.5 points that we've added at the beginning, the second tummy here, it will drop below the first one. This is another important note about it. And here you will have this 0.5 point distance between those two, so you will have a very big letter. So again, this one we went down, we're going to go up for the 2.5 points. You can stop here, and from here you're going to add a similar move to the one that we added to the right. It's actually a noon move with a 1 point of drop down here, and the body will be 2 points of drop and a nice chunky 5 points of width. Now here you can see that I've added more space because I think these two are very close to each other and we need this good space. With regards to the drop, it will be, if you took a vertical line from here, it'll be like 1.5 from this vertical line. So that when you drop, you will curve, you will have a first curve that is nice and neat, because it's going to end here. So this will be nice curve, just like this. Then the next couple of curves will be wider. Well, this one is wide, these two will be kind of shallower in a way or another. And we're gonna finish it with a nice 1 point drop from up there. So the notes to take from here is that this first part will be going back 0.5 point, as we can see, so that you know where to finish it. With regards to the end line down here, 2 points, as we said. The curvature here isn't uniform. You've got first curvature going down, which is quite big. Then you've got another one that transitions the drop into another shape going back up. Then finally, the last one would be kind of a very distinctive one, because here you've got this curvature, which is the last bit of it. Then you've got the second one, which is the one over here, which is bigger than that one. The first one is really massive. The last one would also be quite shallow. But yeah, you can get your head around these curves just by dividing it into 3 chunks. One, a very longy, nice one. Next, it's a transition between the downward movement and the upward movement, which is this one. This would be a curve that looks like this. It's a balancing part of the cup for the letter C. If you didn't add this part, it will look more like a dal or like a ra. That's why this part is important for this letter. So again, without the scale, we've got 1.5, and this part would immediately go upward. Stopping here, this will drop down below and you will go down and up. This also is dropping down below, and you're going to add your last part over here. 1 point, 2 points, 1 point, and a nice chunky cup for this one. Going downward with a nice curve. Starting to rotate back. And finally rotating the last bit of it for 1.5, for 1 point, sorry about that. This should be 5 points, and the drop here should be 1.5. You've got a nice curve up here, a nice curve over there, 2 points over here, which is 1 point out there. And we're gonna come back to this part, which should have been a bit lower. We're gonna take this shape up here. So if we took this shape again, it's like the bat that we talked about last time, which is curving this way then this way. And when your scene comes from this side, the first part, it will connect like this. So it will not be visible, but you will see the top part from here, how it's curved. So this is the first shape. Nice, neat, lovely, love it in this script because it has several details in it. The second shape we're going to change into a smaller pen because this is going to be of a 12-point width. So for this one, what you're gonna do is basically add a slightly inclined line, just like this one, which is not happening for some reason. And we're gonna add our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. These are the 12 points we're gonna have for this scene. Around this area, you're going to add 2 points of drop. This is basically where your scene is going to move. Your scene is coming from the right, from over here, with a nice curve up, just like this. Now, if you recall the letter bar, how we did this part, it's exactly the same one. It's also the same one for the letter kaf, as you can see. So just do the bar one that we talked about before. Start with that. As we said, letter bar would be 6 points, so this is 2, 2, 2, it would be all the way up to here, but again, you're going to start to curve upward now. You're going to start to change your curvature and stop here. Because from here, we're going to add the last bit of it. So you have a nice curve, you have a nice area on top of the scene. It is more shifted to the left rather than the right, and from here it stops. Where it stops. Going back here, you've got 1 point and 2 points. These are for this shape. They're going to start just like the letter bar, as we can see. So you start 1 and 2, finally you come back to this shape and you do it. And again, to keep an eye on this inside negative space in order to get the right shape of it. And from here you have either to stop it short, like we said in the del, which is this shape. This is a cup for it. Or to continue it with the big cup that we just learnt, this one. The 5 points of wide, 2 points of drop. So this is a scene to use. It's quite abundant out there. I think you will find lots of examples of it. 2 shapes of the scene when it's singular. Next, we're going to look into the shape of the scene when it's connected. So the bat that connects to the scene is the 3-point high bat. And for that one, let's go back to our previous pen. And for this one, we're going to add 3 points of height. 1, 2, 3. Same rules. By now, you should be able to write this bar relatively quickly. We're gonna do the curve down, and here you're gonna add 1 point afterwards, and it is going to drop 1 point because of the thickness. And the curvature here is more of an upward curve rather than a going down, as you can see the inside shape. And your scene will start with this angle. This is where the scene starts. And it starts with the same rule that we talked about, the up and down curve. Starts with this curvature. 1 point of width and stop. Again, inclined. Scene rarely comes straight. And from here you've got this one, it drops below, and the next one would drop even more. Your 2 points. Then this should have stopped here, then you would add your cup down below. So as we can see, we've got nice half points down here. It is angled, as you should keep an eye on. This is where the scene starts. It doesn't start after that, nope. If you were to take more notes, you will find that they all just stare at that starting point as if it was the main source for the letter scene. And this is the one that we use for Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but the change there would be for the scene that is connected, and we're going to look into that in the next lesson, not on this one. So you could connect this one and just finish it with your remaining cup. The other shape is the bat with the 12-point wide scene, and for that one we're going to change one thing about it. The bat would be the same, which is the 3 points. This one. Same rule about the drop down here, except for that when you take your line inside the 12-point, you're going to choose the midpoint, and you're going to drop 1.5 points for this one. So your letter will come back down here, then it will come back up, then it will continue from here. So you're starting from here, you're going to go down, start rotating back upward, and stop here to have your cup from this side. And again, you kind of finish it with your end cup. So as you can see, it is kind of different than the previous one, the one we saw before, as it is a curvature in one direction, which is a sag curve. The other one up here had a crest curve, then a sag curve connected. But this one, because it's connected to this shape, it will just be similar to a bat, I would say. But again, it will not be, it will be like one drop, 1 point of drop. As you can see, this is where it started, but this is where it finished. It's a 2 points, but it's a 1 point from this side. So yeah, you have to keep an eye on that. Take the inside scale point to know how to produce this shape. So this is the long Kshida scene, let's say, that comes connected on the right. Now, I believe that we can't have that many examples for this one. The sheen, on the other hand, you have the dots coming up over here, as we said before. The same thing for the small one. If you had a small scene, the dots will be in this area. One, 2, and 3. Could be a bit higher. This could be a bit bigger. Yeah, so this is a scene and a sheen, either by itself or when it comes connected to a bat. And the next lesson we were gonna look into it connected to different letters, either with something after it or something before it. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and as usual, stay safe out there. Like, share and subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about Arabic calligraphy. This has been Ammar Awadi, and we'll catch you in the next video inshallah. Goodbye.